What's up, YouTube? Thought I'd make me a video about what's been going on. Let me turn this radio down. Oh, my son had the radio on out here. Got a few things working on. The S10's up here in the front part of the garage. And as soon as I move some stuff around, I'm going to start pulling the interior and start putting a cage in it. Son's truck's up here in the middle. And I'm starting to do the rust repair. Cut that back cab corner out. And cut two spots out there. I'm just going to cut pieces and put back in it because the rest of the rocker's solid. Put rust deadener all down up inside it. You can see, after I blew it all out and I run a wire brush. Looks like a big bottle brush. Can't remember where I got it, but it works real good for running up through rocker panels and knocking all the shit loose. And then now you can see the C-sections, and I'm going to do a little welding and boxing around those. And there's door there, door there. There's the doors off that green and silver truck. As you must know, one was maroon and one was set because that door there had a lot of rust in it. But, of course, there's the Ford. Kind of back burners right now. And then we got his bed set up here. And I started cutting the kind of hard to see, but I started cutting the bedside out. I bet there was a whole can that size of Bondo. That's stranded fiberglass stuff there, but I bet there was a whole can that size in that fender lip. I knocked a chunk out about 2 foot long and about a 2-inch square of Bondo when I cut that out, so I can put the patch panels in it. Yeah. If you're going to put sound deadener on something, do it right. He's been out here messing with this, getting ready to start cleaning the frame up a little bit. As long as he cleans up his mess, I don't care. I don't know if I put in another video or not, but what the plan is my money goes right this winter. I'm just going to go to Blueprint Engines and buy a 540 long block from them and put in this. I'm going to take this motor out, and this motor is going to go in that truck. Because he wanted a blower motor, but as soon as he found out this might be coming out, he got so excited and wanted to know if... I said, well, I'm not just going to give it to you. You're going to have to work it off. So you're going to have to work it off. Now for the real shit deal. And I'm not putting blame on this on nobody. I mean, it could be mechanical failure. But this morning, I loaded the wife's Elcamino up on the trailer and took it up to Built Right Engines in Parkville, Missouri. They're the ones who built the engine. Built it, balanced it. I've never had a problem with anything they've done for 10 years. When I first fired this thing up, it had a little bit of a lifter tick. Now, it's got a hydraulic roller cam in it. Okay, I figured, well, you know, the motor had been setting all winter before we fired it up. The lifter pumped up and it quit ticking. Sunday, the wife took off in it to go to Olathe. She was going out to Olathe, found a bunch of baby stuff on Facebook Marketplace she's getting for the daughter, for the little grandson. She wanted to drive this. It was nice. Fine, it's hers. She got about 5 miles away, and she said it started making noise. And she pulled over, stopped, and called me. I said, is it losing oil pressure? He goes, no. But she said it's making this tack, 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 rapping noise. At idle, it sounds like a lifter and exhaust leak, but as soon as you rev it up, it goes from a tick to a rapping sound, and it sounds like a damn wrist pin to me. Now, when we had the motor rebuilt, the motor had supposedly been rebuilt when we got the car. So they didn't have to bore it. All they had to do was re-hone it. They reused the pistons, reused the rods, which were both forged. It's got Keith Black, I think, forged pistons in it. It had an eagle rod and crank in it, eagle rods and crank in it. They turned the crank 1010, they milled the heads 10,000s, balanced everything, put it all back together, new bearings, new cam and lifters. I took it up there this morning, and he crawled all over the stethoscope and listened to it, and he seems to think it's got a dead lifter. So, it's going back, not next week, but the week after, because he's tied up. He's got some other things going this week that he's got a tuner scheduled for and can't break that dates. It's going back up there, and they're going to work on it. Now, I have fished the lifter out without pulling the intake on a big block, if it's just one lifter. If the cam's wiped for some reason, and big blocks are notorious for wiping cams on a flat tappet, but it shouldn't have wiped the lobe on a roller cam. That's what I don't understand. If it's just a bad plunger and he can fix it, that's fine. But the cam's a comp, the lifters are comp, push rods are comp. It's got 3/8 push rods in it, same thing my motor's got. Screw-in studs, guide plates like all big blocks do. Other than it's got wider guide plates for the 3/8 push rods. It's got a set of stainless steel roller rockers on it, polylocks. First thing I thought, maybe polylock backed off. So I pulled the valve cover, I turned it over with a breakover bar, I checked all the rockers, they were all fine. So no matter what it is, he's going to fix it. He kind of shied away from it for a minute, saying, well, you know, you did the motor a year ago, and it was a year ago to the month. I said, yeah, we put it in the car, and it sat all winter. It didn't get fired up to the spring. I said, the car's got 68 fucking miles on it, plus the break-in time, 30 minutes running the motor. I said, bringing it up to temperature. And I said, I sit there, even though it's a roller cam, I still run it through a break-in to seat the rings and shit. We run it for 30 minutes. I set it and let it run at 2,500, and then I took it out and drove it. I took it for about a 50-mile run. The other 18, 19 miles on it is my wife driving it around town, just enjoying it. You know, I'm a little pissed off over it because he's kind of balking that it's been a year and he has 1 year, 36,000 mile warranty on a rebuilt motor. And I'm like, okay, I've got a little over $3,000 tied up in this engine, just in parts. Plus labor, plus balancing. I put everything new in it, new balancer, new flywheel. When it went up to get balanced, I sent it with a brand new balancer and a brand new flywheel. Everything on the motor's new, water pump, starter, everything. Alternator, all the hoses, everything new. That's just wasn't new. Radiator, it's got a brand new 4-core radiator for a damn 1-ton truck in it. To make sure it keeps it cool. Because it's a 468, not a 396, and it had a two or three row in it originally. It's got a big 4-core in it. I'm just a little pissed off over it because now I got to make another trip up there with it, and that's why it's sitting on my trailer. You know, shit happens. I realize that. I wasn't going to drive it. I don't want to run it anymore. But they listened to it. And the guy that assembles the engines for him seems to think it's just a lifter. And if it's a lifter, that's fine. If they can get in there and it's just a bad lifter and they can get in there and fish the two lifters out because they're barred together, and he thinks he can drag them out up through the center of the, you know, I've done it with a flat tappet. I don't know about a roller, but we'll see what he can do. I spent 2 days out here cleaning up this damn pigsty. And they had a big gob of concrete poured here, and I broke it out when we bought the house. And now I'm going to come back and just get some and just kind of level this out and float, you know, just fill this in for now. Next summer I'm going to tear the whole floor out here and in the back and redo it, because this is actually asphalt. Not really a bad idea, but you got to put more than 2 inches down. I mean, that floor is like 6 inches of concrete in there. I don't know if they run out of money after pouring that or what, but this floor is like 6 inches deep. And it cracked because that big oak tree's got roots under the floor. So I'm going to live with that for now. It's not unlevel, it just cracked it, and I poured some mortar in it 3 years ago, and now it's coming loose. And there used to be a wall all the way across here, all the way across, and there was a doorway right there, and I took the wall out. I'm going to build a little wall right here for support. And then there's 2 2x4s up there. I'm going to tear and put a 4x6 beam on that side across there. And then another little wall right there, maybe 12-inch wall, or another 4x6 for support. But it ain't going nowhere. I mean, it's got 2x16 beams in the ceiling, rough sawn oak beams in the ceiling. And then, if you look, I've got all that space up there. And it's from the floor to those 2x4s, the bottom of those trusses is 10 foot. And I've got all that room above this part. There used to be a stairwell come down right here in the damn way, and I took it out. I'm going to put one of them ones that you pull down for an attic in there, so it's not down here in the way. I have this tarp laid on here because this asphalt back here is in bad shape as well. It's asphalt, it's crap. So there's OSB laying underneath this tarp on top of the asphalt, and then the tarp's over the top of it. And that's what I'm just going to have to make do with. And I'm going to I'm going to go borrow a skid steer from a family member, and I'm going to come in here and dig all this out. He's got a little 743, it's small enough, and he's got a little T110. I'm going to come in here prior to that little 110 and dig all this out. And I'm going to pour it back. Yeah, put 4 inches of concrete in here, 4 inches in there. But I'll show you on this side of the bed. Basically, up here we're solid. It's just down here where that second little body line is right here. On the other side, this side's not as bad. It's got Bondo in too, but it was from right here where it starts to curve down all the way across was full of Bondo. It was just a big chunk of Bondo. There wasn't even the outer edge of the bed no more. And it was literally like 2 inches thick, where they just kept smearing it and it kept pushing through to the back side, you know. And you could see where they literally, there's fingerprints on the other side in the back of this where they, like, it started to harden, you know. And they were like this, like taking their hand and literally, I mean, it's, I can put my fingers clear up in there. It's completely, and we bought patch panels. He bought 2 patch panels through Keystone, and they're heavy gauge. They're actually heavier gauge metal than the bed. The full, pretty good size patch panel. And there's the other one laying right there. But I told him at this point, between that and this really crappy bed liner that's in here that looks like fucking 20 grit sandpaper, I said, we might just go find another truck, short bed. I know where there's a white short bed step side truck. It's one of those conversion trucks that's rust free. The motor and transmission in it's gone, it's been pulled out, but I can get the truck for $500, and it all be. I told him, you know, instead of building the aluminum dash, I said, why don't we just swap that cab and shit all over onto your chassis and go with that, or interior or something. But whatever he wants to do. I told him, you know, it's a father-son project. I told him that I would go 50-50 on the truck with him. And, you know, he bought this one. I went and got it. Which, it saves us doing all the lowering. You know, it's got a 5.7 drop on it. It's got a flip kit, which is 6 inches. And then it's got another, actually 2 inches in the back on the shackle. So it's probably closer to 8 inches in the back. And then the front's got drop spindles and 2 or 3 inch drop coils. So, but we're going to put some tubular control arms on it, at least on the top. I gave him a new set of motor mounts. I've got a manual steering box I gave him for it that was brand new off that other truck I had, that GMC. Swap the brake lines there and get rid of that anti-lock shit. But it's up to him. I mean, I can fix the rust on this cab. He can use this cab, and there's his aluminum dash, and the end caps are floating around in there somewhere, and we can do all that and put a race column in it, whatever he wants to do. The cab's solid other than that rocker, a little bit of rust, and that rocker over there is going to have to be replaced. And I've got a good cab out there I'm going to cut all this out of, to use. Let me turn this radio down too. I don't want to get no copyright crap. Being YouTube's going around demonetizing everybody's channel. They just hit Jay Malcolm's channel. He puts all the drag racing up. They demonetized him for no damn reason. I don't know what the hell their problem is. I don't worry about it. I don't make enough videos, and I don't care about making money off YouTube. I do it for fun. But there's the chassis. I think I made another video that I got the chassis in. I see where he started dropping the tank yesterday. But the kids are working so many hours, he don't even have time to come out here. We did all of this in like an hour the other day. Got the S10 output up front, pushed that straight back where it's at, and then we pushed his truck up here. I hooked the winch off my trailer where it was sitting there before the Elcamino was on it, drug the ass end around, pushed it up in here. So, but we'll be working on stuff through the winter. And wife bought me a camera, so now I can use something other than my phone. I can set it up and video while we're working. I still don't have no software, nothing to edit videos with, so they'll just be raw from the camera to the computer to the internet. But that's my plan for this. I bought a motor from Blueprint 2 other times in the last 5 years, and I've had good luck with their engines. We bought a 383 stroker for a buddy's car, and then another guy actually bought one of their 496 motors complete, and really nice pieces. You know, and whatever their horsepower is advertised, with them being in Colorado at a higher elevation, it's probably going to make 20 or 40 more horsepower down here at a lower elevation. So, but my transmission's good to 1,000 horsepower, which was kind of overkill for this motor, but I may have to change converters in it again. I don't know. That converter will have to go with this engine. But if it don't, there's a 25 to 2700 stall right there, a brand new TCI one sitting right there. So we can put in it. So we'll see whatever Blueprint says when I order the motor. I'm going to change the cam in it, and when I order it, and change the heads, take their heads off and put a set of AFRs on it. But yeah, I'm looking at a 540 for this, and I'm still debating whether or not to go to S&W and buy a back half and back half it like the red one was. I like to keep it small tire, keep a 28 by 12 by 15 under it, but because that's street to me. That's street. You know, street truck runs a street. You can take it to the strip, but it's built to run on the street, you know. This truck's got all interior. It's got carpet, pads, sound deadening material on the floorboard, you know, seats, full door panels. The dash is complete other than one little piece of plastic. You know, no headliner, sticker bomb headliner. But this is my fun truck. That's all I built it for. It's a hot rod. It's not a race truck, drag truck, grudge truck, or anything else. Street rod. It's a hot rod. It's what I go when I'm frustrated. I can take it out and just blow the shit out of the tires on it, and then I feel better. I beat this truck to beat the shit out of. And so far, it's took everything I've thrown at it. And a kid in town here, it's got a little 406 or 408 LS with supposedly a 350 shot of nitrous on it that he wants to rate me to take this to the track and race him. One problem with that. First pass, they'll kick me off the track because no cage, no parachute, fuel regulator on the firewall is a no-no. A few other things under here are going to have to be changed. Yeah, they kicked me. It wouldn't even pass tech right now. Just that fuel regulator alone on the firewall would get me in trouble. But anyhow, I didn't build it to run track. I built some bitch to drive and have fun with. Like I told him, come out on the street. I know some places we can run. Bring it to the street, and we'll run. I even agree. He can run slicks, and I'll run on street tires. I'll put my 275 hand cooks back on it, run him on them. I've yet to open this truck up all the way, but I know what it'll do as far as I've pushed it. I got an idea what it'll run in the 8th. And this truck is very deceiving. Just because it's an iron-headed big block don't mean nothing. Well, I tell everybody it's my little punk-ass truck. But I just wanted to make a video of what I've been doing, cleaning up the garage, cleaning up out here, get ready for the fall leaf barrage that's going to hit us. This whole back driveway will be a foot deep with leaves by December. I'm not shitting at all. So, but yeah, I wanted to show that. Having to take that damn thing up there, that just pisses me off. I'm just a little disappointed over it. But I mean, if it's a bad part, then it's a bad part that can't be helped. But it's just a pain in the ass. You know, my wife's upset, and yeah. So we'll get it fixed. If he don't straighten it out, I'll just go buy a goddamn new motor and put in it. I'll take that sumbitch apart and sell it. But that's all that's going on. Later on, everybody.